What's going on, guys? This is Day Trader Insight. The market took a little dip there for a couple days, but I'm up. I still made good money last week. Had a lot of plays work out in my favor. First being the Honest Company. Let's cover that since it was in my last video. I told you guys I loaded up at like 465, and the charts told me it might run to 6.8. As the chart evolved and the days progressed, that became about 7.14 or 7.1 that I was looking for, and it certainly got there. So I actually ended up flipping the Honest Company about 4 or 5 times in the last few days and made some pretty good money from that. So that was a good play. As far as the Honest Company moving forward, I'm going to wait and let the chart give me more information. The next one up on the list is Sofi. As for Sofi, I reloaded my core position because it looks like it needs to at least make another leg to about $14. There's potential that it goes above $14 and then heads towards about 15.8 or 15.9 is what I'm looking at on one of my main charts. But that's one that there's not a lot of clarity in that chart. I can definitely guarantee it's going to about 14 in my opinion. And none of this is financial advice. This is all, what I'm thinking, how I'm positioning myself. Sofi, it's a little bit elevated, and we've got to let the chart tell us more. But I do think $14 first, and then we see from there. We'll either see a break up or a breakdown, obviously, right? Next one I'm really excited about, Amzn, right? As you can see from the chart, I sold my Amzn at about 215 last week. It was my biggest large cap holding, right? And I said, you know what, I'm going to reload there when it tested that lower line. And that was what, like 199. It pretty much smacked it there on Friday, I believe. So I wish I'd seen it. I was working, but I would have reloaded. Anyway, I still have to reload that position. I'll probably do it at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning when pre-market trading starts on Rpool. Next position, Estee Lauder. So that's a very interesting one. It's been selling off for a long time. In my opinion, it needs to fill that gap up to that other trend line. So it busted through that trend line, but it never tested it from the downside. It's definitely going to test it. So that's the third one, or the fourth one I'm really excited about. So Honest Company, Sofi, Amzn, Estee Lauder. Those are all my main ones. The last one is, or the last two rather, are Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, it went up and smacked about 90,500 was what I was looking at on my charting on Webull. But there was also a line up near 93, 94, 95. So, we'll see with Bitcoin. I haven't reloaded my full position yet. I did at one point last week, and I played the bounce off of like 86 when it originally bounced back down to 86, 87. It's just that one I want to wait and see a break. I want to see what happens. I think the last one I'm excited about would be Nike. Bill Ackman's loaded a lot. I don't really care about that. All I care about is the chart, really. The chart and the fact that Nike sold off a lot. It's getting more and more appealing as it goes down more and more. And the chart started to level off. There's been a little bit of accumulation in the most recent quarter. And just based on the chart alone, the volume profile, and then the trend line, it looks like Nike's going to 79, right? I think Nike's very, very weak as far as the stock goes. So even though I had a ton of Nike, and actually flipped Nike twice last week for minimal gains, but everything was selling off. I mean, when I say minimal gains, I mean I still made quite a lot of money last week. The market was falling, and I mean I can't tell you how much I made, but I made good money between Tuesday and Friday. But so Nike, I'm thinking I might play it from here to 79.5 with a decent amount. But as far as how I'm going to load myself, I'm going to be loading heavy on Sofi, loading real heavy on Amzn, loading moderately heavy on Estee Lauder for that small bounce, and then Nike. And then the Honest Company, I'm going to wait and see where that goes. Like I said, I flipped it multiple times, and I've sold out of my last holdings when it hit that upper trend line. I don't care if it keeps running. Again, I've said this before. I play things to my trend lines, and if stuff keeps running, that's fine with me. I don't really care. There's always another opportunity. As you can see in this video, there's so much opportunity that I'm talking about right now. So Bitcoin we'll see, and Honest Company we'll see. And Sofi is kind of one of those where we'll see as well. I might sell that whole, not that whole core position, but 60% of that core position that I tend to play with. I might flip that and sell that at 14 if it looks like Sofi is looking weak. Because I definitely think it's going to 14. I don't know if it's going to go above that. I think Amazon is going to be a great play, pushing back up to that trend line. I think long term Amazon has to push up to 230 to 240, next year. So, and I think it's one of the strongest large cap holdings. I like Amazon and I like Facebook. So there was one other stock I wanted to talk about, and it totally slipped my mind. I do all of this from memory. I don't have any notes in front of me, no charts, nothing, right? But it's Whirlpool stock, right? I've been accumulating Rpool stock for a little while as it's been dipping, and it's been dipping for a while, and I only started buying a few weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. And it's a smaller position. It's not huge relative to my other positions. It's very, very small relative to my other positions. So maybe like 250 shares, something like that is what I'm up to. But with Rpool stock, I am thinking that it keeps climbing and climbing and climbing, and eventually it gets back to 160, 170. Really, I'm looking for like 170. If it does start to or continue bouncing next year, I do think there'll be pullbacks along the way. In fact, I'm kind of thinking there's going to be a little more consolidation right now. But I think it'll see kind of a turnaround, this steady uptrend. Interest rates to go lower before we really see a whole lot with that. It'll be interesting to see how everything affects Whirlpool. But I do think the Whirlpool stock is going to rebound. It's a nice dividend payer. Hopefully as interest rates drop, one, we'll see people looking for yield. Two, we'll see houses moving more, people moving more, and appliances being needed more. And I think that'll benefit Whirlpool. But that one, kind of like some other ones, I'm mainly trading the chart there. I'm not so much trading the fundamentals, though I do think the fundamentals will play in favor of Whirlpool moving forward. Anyway, good luck next week, you guys. I'll try to keep you updated there as the week progresses. Day Trader Insight out. Once again, none of this is financial advice. You do you, I do me. That's how the world goes.